How you doing? How you doing? This is the Frankie Russo pre-show. Okay? Show number 75. That's right. I'm still moving on this. I'm stuck on this. I believe that it's statistically significant. The Obama administration, the executive branch of the United States government, is a criminal enterprise. I'm just going to show you the outline real quick, and then I'll cut to some serious stuff. Frankie Russo coming at you, pre-show. Obama, fraudulent sector service card, illegal president, enters into a memorandum of understanding in December 2008 with the Clinton Foundation. Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Cheryl Mills, she's a former chief of staff of the State Department, Huma Abedin, and you got Hillary Clinton sitting as the Secretary of State. Criminal. Before we even go to the second part, I believe this is a criminal enterprise. Okay? I believe. From there, statistically significant, and we'll talk about my sources later. Alevi Foundation, Asa Corporation, Bank mainly of Iran, own interests in 650 Fifth Avenue. They donate $105,000 to the Clinton Foundation. So what, Frankie Russo? Who cares why I bring that up? Well, Preet Bharara, court papers, judge's decision, Catherine Forrest rules in favor of Preet Bharara of the Justice Department that the Alevi Foundation, Asa Corporation, Bank Milli of Iran is really the Iranian government. They are fronting for the Iranian government, so therefore they're terrorist entities, and 650 Fifth Avenue was seized by the United States government and then eventually forfeited over to the United States government. Okay? And then we said, oh, so what, Frankie? Who cares? Why bring that up? Well, because Clinton and the Clinton Foundation, the Alevi Foundation, are claiming that these are two foundations and that, there's nothing wrong here. Katrina relief, charitable donations. I don't believe it. Because I know one thing, the federal code, Title 18, the RICO, the Title 21, and the federal code, Executive Order 1322-4, W. Bush. Obviously, there's no, terrorism is not allowed with the United States jurisdiction. All the person or organization has to do is know that the organization, the foundation or whatever, the person that's donating to the Clinton Foundation, for example, all the Clinton Foundation has to do is know that the Alevi Foundation is a terrorist entity, is funding for terror, and the transaction is prohibited. That's it. So, right off the bat, based on the 650 Fifth Avenue case, I don't understand why Bill Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, the illegal president, doesn't know that the Alevi Foundation is a terrorist entity. So therefore, you cannot accept donations, transactions, services. You can't help. It's illegal. It's prohibited. You can't help a terrorist entity evade, avoid sanctions. Can't be done. It's illegal. Okay? Now, we went further. We found out $1.4 million was given by the Alevi Foundation. The Alevi Foundation gave $1.4 million to the Blind Sheets Mosque. And that's where we're at right now. Okay? So the question is, I got three sources. Rachel Effenfeld, American Center for Democracy. I got the Hanskew case. Says it in its appendix, clearly. And I got the American Spectator article, which talks about public tax records of the Alevi Foundation. Shows that $1.4 million went to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. And that's where we're at. Okay. So now we're going to move with this. The Alevi Foundation gives $1.4 million to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. Right? And we have stated right? We have stated that we got three sources. Rachel Effenfeld, American Center for Democracy. According to the American Spectator article, public tax records of the Alevi Foundation reveals that the Alevi Foundation gave $1.4 million to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. That's the Al Farouk Mosque, Flatbush and Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn. Okay? And we also got the Hanskew case, which it says in Appendix A that $1.4 million went to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. Okay. First, the first perpetrator at the Blind Sheikh's Mosque now. So we got the Alevi Foundation donating $1,500 to the Clinton Foundation. And they're claiming that these are charitable donations. And we're saying, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation not know that the Alevi Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Alevi Foundation is funding terror? Because if the Clinton Foundation and Bill Clinton knows, which they should know, the transactions are prohibited. Now, the blind Sheikh Abdul Rahman, okay? Blind Sheikh Abdul Rahman was one of the masterminds of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. The spiritual leader, so to speak, okay? Serving a lifetime prison sentence, okay? So the Blind Sheikh, oh man. All right. The Blind Sheikh, I left the paper in the thing, so I know what I'm going to do. Okay. It's in the old hotel. The Blind Sheikh is serving a lifetime prison sentence for being one of the masterminds of the World Trade Center bombing. And I'll tell you in a minute, it's all here. It's all here. I have it right over here. Here it is. Okay. Right. So I'm going to use this. Okay, so I'm sorry. My papers are over there. I'm over here. I got all these papers. I really worked hard on this thing. So the Blind Sheikh Abdul Rahman, one of the masterminds and spiritual leaders of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, plotted to bomb United Nations, George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln and Holland tunnels, and 26 Federal Plaza. He's now serving a lifetime sentence. He's now serving a lifetime prison sentence. So the question is, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation not know that the Alevi Foundation is financing terror, is a terrorist entity? The second perpetrator in the random acts of terror in the area of the Blind Sheikh's Mosque and the affiliates of the Blind Sheikh is none other than the Yemen Sheikh Mohammed Moad. Now, Mohammed Moad is an interesting cat. Understand, he's all the way out in Yemen. Interesting from the vantage point. I'm not saying anything good, but he's all the way out in Yemen. And what happened was, it's interesting in how they got him. To quickly go through this, in the Kelly Moore article, it's a Lewis and Clark Law Review Journal article. Statistically significant. This is all statistically significant. Court papers, judges' decisions, Law Review Journal articles, Weekly Standard, Western Journalism, WND, World Net Daily, and others. Okay? Now, You have the FBI in this Kelly Moore article was working with this honey jar informant, which was from the Blind Sheikh's Mosque, and then from this Brooklyn ring of illegal money transmitting, which came out to be the Al-Rani Brooklyn ring, came out the Al-Rani informant was working with the FBI. There was two informants. So the honey jar informant, according to the Kelly Moore article, got the FBI in touch with this informant from the Brooklyn ring, which was a ring of illegal money transmitting with no license. So this Al-Rani informant had a contact, the Yemen Sheikh Mohammed Mawad. He was bragging about he's funding the world, the jihadists and everything like that. And it came out that he was a trainee based on all of this, the Title III, based on all the Title III, the surveillance, the body wires, the wire transfers, and all the different things that the FBI had access to garner all this information. They found the Yemen Sheikh Mohammed Mawad trainee sponsor. He was sponsoring trainees at Al-Qaeda training and terror. He was a terror fundraiser. Found guilty by a jury trial. Received money from the Blind Sheikh's Mosque and funneling $20 million to Al-Qaeda and funneling $5 million to Hamas. And he was to serve a 75-year prison sentence. And he eventually ended up getting deported to Yemen. So the question is, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation, how doesn't President Clinton, how doesn't Obama not know that the Alevi Foundation is funding terror? The third perpetrator is none other than Abaid Elf-G, if I pronounced it right. Abaid Elf-G, okay? He now was on, because what happened was when the Al-Rani informant went out to Yemen and was talking to the Yemen Sheikh Mohammed Mawad gave the informant, the Al-Rani informant, a list of all of the fundraisers, all of the people that were giving money from Brooklyn. And Abaid Elf-G, this gentleman right here, okay, was on that list, was on Mohammed Mawad's list. And he gave that list to the Al-Rani informant that was working with the FBI. So that tipped the FBI, and they found out that this dude, Abaid Elf-G, was fronting as an ice cream parlor owner on Flatbush Avenue in Brooklyn. And he has $21 million in his bank account from 10 different feeder accounts. And he's sending this $20 million to 16 different countries to support terror. Found guilty and is serving a 15-year 15-year prison sentence. So the question is, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation, President Clinton, and Obama not know that the Alevi Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Alevi Foundation is funding terror? Now we got this other cat. It came through Abaid Elf-G. We got understand the Iranian informant had a body wire on and everything, so he tipped off also the Al-Rani informant that they're on to the FBI, that the FBI is watching them and what they're doing in Yemen. So he said they can no longer do it that way. They have to do it a different way. He said they have to do it a different way. And he said basically I'm looking for the quote in the article, but basically what he said was they have to do it through the diplomats. That's what he said. And that's how they got tied into this. Newman, who was in Brooklyn, was an associate of a Yemen sheikh, Sattar. Sattar was a terrorist fundraiser going to all the Brooklyn mosques, including the Blind Sheikh's Mosque and the Jersey City Mosque, all over that area. Now, he went there with Newman. So when Sattar came, Newman was like the associate of the Yemen sheikh, and the FBI was following this whole situation, was surveilling this Yemen sheikh, Sattar. When Sattar left, Newman remained in Brooklyn. The FBI was questioning Newman. Newman, as we pointed out, the ice cream parlor owner tipped off the Al-Rani ring. Okay, that the way they're going to bring the money, they're going to fund the terror is not through these wire transmitting anymore. We're going to do it through the diplomats, and Sattar was conceivably one of them. So the Yemen sheikh, Sattar's associate Newman, after Sattar left, and Sattar went all over the place from all these Brooklyn mosques, raising money, making speeches with Osama bin Laden, different things, to support the jihadists throughout the world. Eventually, the FBI was questioning Newman, who was the associate. Newman was the associate of the Yemen sheikh Sattar, and he lied to the FBI and was found guilty and serving a 5-year sentence. That's the 4th perpetrator. So the question is, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton not know that the Alevi Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Alevi Foundation is funding terror? 5th perpetrator, Mohammed al-Hanoudi, unindicted co-conspirator in both the Holy Land Foundation trial, Hamas financing, and the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. Right? Now he's an associate of the Blind Sheikh, because the Blind Sheikh, when the Blind Sheikh was part of the Blind Sheikh's, he was involved in the plotting of the blowing up of the United Nations building, the Lincoln Tunnel, the Holland Tunnel, 26 Federal Plaza. All that planning was in the Jersey City Mosque. Mohammed al-Hanoudi's mosque. I'll get it right. I've worked hard on this. Mohammed al-Hanoudi. Unindicted co-conspirator in both the Holy Land Foundation trial, Hamas financing, and the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He's involved in both situations. There's ample evidence in both the Holy Land Foundation trial and the 1993 World Trade Center bombing that he was involved. He was very much involved. And then there's an FBI memo, Weekly Standard, Mohammed al-Hanoudi raised $6 million for Hamas, an nctc.gov terrorist entity. Check it out. nctc.gov terrorist entity. Number 6. So the question is, how doesn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton not know that the Alevi Foundation is funding terror? Mohammed Salman. It's another Blind Sheik's associate, and he's convicted perpetrator of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He is currently an inmate at the ADX Florence detention center in Florence, Colorado. The driver of the Ryder van, this is right out of the article, the hand skew Appendix A. The driver of the Ryder van that delivered the bomb to the garage of the World Trade Center in 1993. When Salomon rented the Ryder van, he used Mohammed Al-Hanoudi's Jersey City Islamic Center. How doesn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton and Obama not know that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity? They're raising money for terrorism. Seven, Mahmoud Abu Halima. Mahmoud Abu Halima. Okay? He had a key role in the management of the Alifka Relief Center, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. A close associate of the Blind Sheik, there's another Blind Sheik associate, and in 1995, Abu Halima was convicted for his involvement in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. To finance his terrorist activity, Abu Halima ran a phony coupon redemption center in Brooklyn. They raised millions with this. So here's another front. The ice cream parlor and a phony coupon redemption center in Brooklyn. Crazy stuff. How doesn't the Clinton Foundation, how doesn't Bill Clinton, Obama, and Hillary Clinton not know that the Levy Foundation, who gave $1.4 million to the Blind Sheik's Mosque, is funding terror? Now, the eighth perpetrator is Al-Kifi Relief Center. Okay? Relief Center. This is the eighth perpetrator. It's a Brooklyn chapter. It's based, this is inside the Blind Sheik's Mosque. Abu Halima managed that relief center, and it was originally founded in Afghanistan by Osama bin Laden, and it's involved in diverting monies to terrorist activities and training camps. This Al-Kif Relief Center was in the Blind Sheik's Mosque. This is another affiliation with the Blind Sheik and the Blind Sheik's Mosque. How didn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama not know that the Levy Foundation is funding terror? The Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity. How did they not know? And then we got this Abu Bakr Islamic Center. Abu Bakr Islamic Center. Based in Flushing, Queens, is where the Blind Sheik and others planned. This is right out of the Hanskew case in Appendix A. Is where the Blind Sheik and others planned a horrific day of terror in which a bomb was to explode in each of these areas in Brooklyn that Rockman and others planned. For example, United Nations, George Washington Bridge, the Lincoln and Holland tunnels, and 26 Federal Plaza. How doesn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama not know that the Levy Foundation is funding terror, that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity? So the Blind Sheik did a lot of planning. He planned in the Abu Bakr Islamic Center this cataclysmic day of terror, that a bomb was to go off in each of these areas of Brooklyn. Also, bomb was to explode, and I mentioned this earlier, the United Nations, George Washington Bridge, Lincoln and Holland tunnels, 26 Federal Plaza, and it's my understanding as well, this was also done by the Jersey City Mosque. There was also planning in the Jersey City Mosque. Let's see. Right. But so it's also the Jersey City Mosque. Mohammed Al-Hanoudi is also implicated, as I mentioned earlier. Right. Mohammed Salman rented the rider van and he used the address of Al-Hanoudi's Jersey City Mosque. Okay? So now this is the 10th perpetrator. We're going to end on this perpetrator, and next week we're going to end on this perpetrator. I forgot what the camera. And next week I'm going to bring in more. I'm going to go more into Al-Hanoudi. This is all around the Blind Sheikh's Mosque and the Blind Sheikh. The last one is Rami Youssef. This is 10. Rami Youssef is one of the main perpetrators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. This is right out of I got a Wikipedia, and I got this out of the Hanskew case. Rami Youssef is one of the main perpetrators of the 1993 World Trade Center bombing. He was also a co-conspirator in the Bajika plot and was tried in the U.S. District Court of the Southern District, along with two co-conspirators, and was convicted of planning this Bajika plot. Now, not to get into the Bajika plot, I just brought that in because we're focused on the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, because that's affiliated with the Blind Sheikh. I just wanted to give you a broad context of how horrific this Rami Youssef is. He's sentenced to 2 life sentences for his part in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and the Bojika plot. And we also found that Rami Youssef, his uncle is Khalid Sheikh Mohammed, with whom he allegedly planned the Bojika plot. Mohammed is a senior Al-Qaeda member accused of being the principal architect of the September 11th attacks in 2001, and Youssef is serving his life sentences in ADX Florence. That's a full-scale maximum security prison in Florence, Colorado. So I got right now 10 on the books. I'm going to bring in more next week to show everybody how profound this really is. Because I believe, now we're going to close on that note. We got Obama, illegal president, fraudulent like a service card, memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Cheryl Mills, Huma Abedin. Receives a donation from the Levy Foundation. The Levy Foundation, as a corporation of Bank Milli of Iran, owns 650 Fifth Avenue building, and based on Preet Bharara's complaint and the judge's decision by Judge Forrest, these terrorist entities, the Levy Foundation, as a corporation of Bank Milli of Iran, are the Iranian government, and they gave a Levy Foundation gave $105,000 to the Clinton Foundation. So on that basis alone, President Clinton, the Clinton Foundation should know, Barack Obama should know, that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Levy Foundation is raising money for terror. They don't know. I don't understand how they don't know. Because if they know that they're accepting money, they're accepting donations from a terrorist entity, the Clinton Foundation, it's a prohibited transaction. The Clinton Foundation cannot accept the money from the Levy Foundation. Then we went all the way to the Blind Sheikh's Mosque. And that's how we broke down to 10 perpetrators. I'm going to bring in more next week. More next week. It's so profoundly egregious. It's unbelievable. And I haven't even gotten into Mohammed Zarif, which I wanted to get into tonight. He's the foreign minister. He's the Minister of Foreign Affairs of Iran, and he was one of the UN diplomats that the Iranian government was using to perpetrate, to propagandize within the United States through the Alevi Foundation with 650 Fifth Avenue building, and now he's, to bring it front and center, now he is the chief negotiator of this fake Fugazi nuke deal. Crazy stuff. In addition, I wanted to bring in too, because then we got the defector that's claiming that the United States, because I believe, quite honestly, this defector was claiming that the United States, John Kerry and the other representatives of the United States are basically representing Iran in this negotiation. He defected. Is that statistically significant? Right now, it's anecdotal. I just wanted to bring that up because it's going to lead us into some other stuff that I want to talk about next week. I'm going to bring in more, and there was some other stuff that I wanted to talk about. Like, for example, just to give you an idea of how far we're going to go with this. Here, just to give you an idea. And then we're going to close it. My claim is, this is my contention, and we're going to close this thing. This is my contention, that and we talked about this every week, so I'm just bringing it in now, but when President Clinton, you understand the outline, right? With the Clinton Foundation, Memorandum of Understanding with the Obama administration, Hillary Clinton sits as Secretary of State, and Bill Clinton tours the world garnering money, basically, just unilaterally, just doing what they want, and basically taking their fists and slamming it into this country, into Mother Earth, and just taking what they want out of it. And they didn't even follow the Memorandum of Understanding. They went beyond the scope. And it's one big hodgepodge of a mess. When President Clinton was president, he signed 1999 omnibus budget bill. Went through the Congress and he signed it. In that bill was Section 117, which enabled Americans to recover monies, to recover damages for the loss of their loved ones in these unfortunate events, these terrorist attacks. Now, in addition, on October 21st, 1998, he signed that 1999 omnibus bill. That same day, 3 hours later, October 21st, 1998, Presidential Determination 99-1, President Clinton waived Section 117 under the guise of national security, and that means he's blocking now the American people from recovering damages from these rogue terrorist regimes' assets, like 650 Fifth Avenue, which is owned by the Iranian government, basically. I believe on October 21st, 1998, Presidential Determination 99-1 was the beginning of this grand culmination based on, if you believe the Lee Smith article, why Iran already has the bomb, that the Presidential Determination 99-1 was the beginning of Iran's garnering nuclear capability. And you could thank President Clinton, the Clinton Foundation, and Barack Obama, and now Hillary Clinton, as being part of this grand scheme. And to add a little more fuel to the fire, this was in the Washington Times, documents obtained by the Washington Times, and this is an article in the Washington Times. Statistically significant, you better believe it. The Times, New York Times, these are lefty-leaning papers anyway. Crazy stuff. This is statistically significant. Bill Clinton's this was published June 2nd, 2015. Bill Clinton's foundation, because we're asking this question, why doesn't the Clinton Foundation not know that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity? The Levy Foundation is raising terror. I gave you 10 examples of 10 examples of what's going on. I'm going to give you more next week with the blind sheik. I mean, it's just unconscionable, right? How doesn't Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, Obama not know that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Levy Foundation is raising money for terror? They're terrorist fundraising. They're raising money, a Levy Foundation, and giving it to terrorists. Bill Clinton's foundation set up a fundraising arm in Sweden that collected $26 million in donations at the same time that country was lobbying Hillary Clinton's State Department to forego sanctions that threatened its thriving business with Iran. This was published June 2nd, 2015. Statistically significant. So this is in support of my contention that Obama, who signed the memorandum of understanding with the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, and all their cohorts with this Clinton Foundation, have been running rogue. Like she was running rogue with this intelligence agency with her thing in a basement. He's got his Winnebago running a rogue government, running a rogue presidency in his Winnebago, collecting all this money and as an agent of Iran. And it all started doing all of Iran's bidding. And here's some evidence right here. Bill Clinton's foundation set up a fundraising arm in Sweden that collected $26 million in donations at the same time that country was lobbying Hillary Clinton's State Department to forego sanctions that threatened its thriving business with Iran. That is in all violations of United States Codes 1821, Executive Orders 1322-4 under W. It's crazy. I'm going to go in deeper into that next week. I'm going to bring in more perpetrators, more radical Islamists around the Blind Sheik's mosque, around the Blind Sheik. It's egregious, the data. How doesn't Bill Clinton, Obama, Hillary Clinton not know that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity? The Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity, is a terrorist enterprise. The Levy Foundation is funding terror. They gave $1.4 million to the Blind Sheik's Mosque. I just pointed out 10 individuals that were involved in either illegal money transmitting to terrorists, plotting to bomb Americans, bomb America, bomb American buildings, plotting to bomb American allies. 10 individuals. They're all serving time in jail. How doesn't the Clinton Foundation, Bill Clinton, Obama, Hillary Clinton not know that the Levy Foundation is a terrorist entity, that the Levy Foundation is raising money for terror? This is the Frankie Russo Show. I'll see you in about 40 minutes. You got the outline over here. Okay, Frankie Russo, you got to join America's team and get a t-shirt. Go to facebook.com/Frankie Russo Show and click on the buttons. Go to FrankieRussoNation.tv or AmericasTeam.today. This is Frankie Russo, pre-show number 75. I'll see you in a few. Yeah.